Hello, and welcome to the first day of One Beacon, One Book during GRIP, when we'll be reading Ghost by Jason Reynolds. Let's start with the author himself reading the first few pages. It's nice to have the author kicking off our One Beacon, One Book daily readings. He stopped in a place that has hinted that something bad is going to happen. We call those hints about the future in a book foreshadowing. Let's pick up on page 5 to see what happens next. Page 5, middle of the page. It was 3 years ago when my dad lost it, when the liquor made him meaner than he'd ever been. Every other night, he would become a different person, like he'd morph into someone crazy. But this one night, my mother decided to finally fight back. This one night, everything went worse. I had my head sandwiched between the mattress and my pillow, something I got used to doing whenever we were going at it, when my mom crashed into my bedroom. "We gotta go," she said, yanking the covers off the bed. And when I didn't move fast enough, she yelled, "Come on!" The next thing I knew, she was dragging me down the hallway, my feet tripping over themselves. And that's when I looked back and saw him, my dad, staggering from the bedroom, his lips bloody, a pistol in his hand. "Don't make me do this, Terry," he angrily begged. But me and my mom kept rolling. The sound of the gun cocking, the sound of the door unlocking. As soon as she swung the door open, my dad fired a shot. He was shooting at us. My dad. My dad was actually shooting at us, his wife and his boy. I didn't look to see what he hit, mainly because I was scared it was going to be me or Ma. The sound was big and sharp enough to make me feel like my brain was going to pop in my head, enough to make my heart hiccup. But the craziest thing was, I felt like the shot, loudest sound I ever heard, made my legs move even faster. I don't know if that's possible, but that's definitely what it seemed like. My mom and I kept running down the staircase into the street, breaking into the darkness with death chasing behind us. We ran and ran and ran until finally we came up on Mr. Charles's store, which, luckily for us, stays open 24/7. Mr. Charles took one look at me and my mom, out of breath, crying, barefoot in our pajamas, and hid us in his storage room while he called the cops. We stayed there all night. I haven't seen my dad since. Ma said the cops said that when they got to the house, he was sitting outside on the steps, shirtless, with the pistol beside him, guzzling beer, eating sunflower seeds, waiting, like he wanted to get caught, like it was no big deal. They gave him 10 years in prison. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm happy about that or not. Sometimes I wish he would have gotten forever in jail. Other times, I wish he was home on the couch, watching the game, shaking seeds in his hand. Either way, one thing is for sure. That was the night I learned how to run. So when I was done sitting at the bus stop in front of the gym and came across all those kids on the track at the park practicing, I had to see what was going on, because running ain't nothing I ever had to practice. It's just something I knew how to do. Chapter 2. World record for the fastest tryout ever. At first, I watched through the gate. I was going to keep moving, but then I saw that there were other people down closer to the track, hanging out, watching the practice, like moms and stuff. So I joined them. Well, I didn't sit with them because that would have been weird, but I grabbed a seat on one of the other benches. My school didn't have a track team. Not that I would have tried out for it if I did. I was more into basketball. That was my sport, even though I had never really played. Sometimes on my walk home, I would stop at the court and see if I could get a pickup game, but no one ever picked me, mainly because the old heads didn't like running with kids my age. But I always had this feeling that if I could just get on, I'd be the next LeBron. But I never wanted to be the next whoever the most famous runner is. I never even thought about it. I looked in the world records book and it says some dude named Usain Bolt is the fastest, but I never heard of him. My dad never watched running on TV. Are there even any famous runners? Like, seriously, I never heard of none. But judging from the way these kids were stretching and jumping around on the track, some of them probably had. Okay, let's get some high knees, the coach was commanding. He was short and bald, but I could tell that his baldy didn't come from all his hair falling out. He was one of those guys who shaved it. Actually, he was one of those guys who shaved all the hair on his face except his eyebrows, which wasn't a good look. He looked like a turtle with a chipped tooth, wearing a hoop earring and a black whistle around his neck. Up, up, up! There were boys and girls around my age, everybody dressed in shorts and t-shirts, holding their arms out in front of them, doing a jump march kind of thing, slapping their knees to their hands. Come on, Sonny, it's only the second day of practice and you're already slacking, the coach barked at the tallest boy out there. He was holding a clipboard and smacked it against his leg. Get him up! I sat with my feet spread apart so I could spit the sunflower seed shells on the ground between them. The salt was making me so thirsty, but I just couldn't stop eating them. On the track, the high knee things were followed by jumping jacks and some warm-up laps around the track, which seemed like a really bad idea to me. I mean, why would you run to warm up? You'd be tired before it's even time to race, duh. Then all the runners gathered around the turtle-faced coach. Listen up, he said. If you are on this track, you have either already been part of the defenders or you have been recruited to be part of the defenders. He was talking to them like they had just joined the army or something. I'm sure you all know what that means, but in case you don't, it means that you are part of one of the best youth teams in the city. We are the people the top high schools come to for talent. And if you go to a good high school and do well on a good team, guess what? You might even get to go to college for free. Don't nobody go to college for free to run no races, I thought to myself, spitting a shell out. I hate when they get stuck on your tongue and you got to do that spit flick thing. So annoying. A weird-looking kid. I can't really explain what he looked like. Well, let me try. You know how I said Mr. Charles looked like James Brown if James Brown was white? Well, this kid looked like a white boy if a white boy was black. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Let me start over. His skin was white, like the color white, and his hair was light brown. But his face looked like a black person's. Like God forgot to put the brown in him. Wait, is that like Mr. Charles or not? Forget it. Anyway, the boy raised his hand. Yes, Lou, the coach said. Is it true that you ran in the Olympics? The kid asked. Is it true that you didn't? The coach shot back, playing him out. The boy called Lou stood there like he just got slapped in the face by one of Charlotte Lee's rubber ducks, like he didn't know what to do. He stammered, not sure what to say. Don't worry about what I've done. Worry about what you want to do. If you stick with me, I can get you there. The coach wiped spit from the corners of his mouth. Now, he said, looking at his roll sheet, let's see what we can do with you newbies. Lou, Patina, Sonny, on the line. Okay, we'll have to wait until Monday to meet those other characters just mentioned in the book.